Hi there, welcome to the 52nd episode of the Synth Project, where we are building a synth together. Together we will go through the schematic and assembly of the second element of the audio mixer module, specifically designed for our synth project. The element we will be talking about is the adder, a unit capable of putting together the signals from up to 8 different sources for each of its stereo channels. This unit will connect to the VU meters we examined in the previous episode, and also with a headphone amplifier, an element necessary to be able to play with the synth in quiet mode, without disturbing your family members and neighbors. And if you play the synth along with other electronic instruments, you can even connect them all together to the mixer and have everything working from this simple module. Let's begin! Here is the schematic of the adder unit. You can immediately see that there are actually two identical circuits, one for the left channel and one for the right. The inputs arrive to the circuit board on a 9-pin JST-XH connector, 8 pins for the 8 inputs and 1 for the ground. Note resistor R17 with a value of 0 ohm. This resistor is there just to act as a jumper, to allow the whole circuit to be implemented on a single layer PCB. Each input goes to a separate resistor, all of the same value, and from there they go to the inverting input of a low-noise dual op-amp configured as an adder with negative gain. The gain can be adjusted from 0 to -1 depending on the position of the potentiometer in the feedback loop. Note how the potentiometers are pictured on the right side and connected to the op-amps through JST-XH connectors with 2 pins. The potentiometers have been positioned separately from the rest of the circuit, so they can be positioned on a separate PCB, which will hold them on the back of the front panel, simplifying the construction of the module. The rest of the circuit, the one on the left side, will sit on a separate PCB, which can be attached back-to-back to the one with the potentiometers. A simple solution that makes it really easy to attach everything to the back of the front panel. Finally, you can see 2 output connectors attached to each op-amp. One of the connectors can be used to attach to the VU meter, and the other one is the actual signal output, which will connect to both the headset amplifier and the output jack of the audio mixer, of course one for each channel. Here is the PCB I designed for this circuit. There are 2 parts, one on the left and one on the right, which need to be separated in 2 independent PCBs. The left side is the PCB that will hold in place the 2 logarithmic potentiometers, for which I decided to use slide components, very good looking for this kind of module. The potentiometers need to be adjusted so that the VU meter red LEDs barely light up, or even remain off, and this helps in preventing distortions if the signals become too high. Additionally, depending on the power amplifier to which the mixer will be connected, you may need to reduce even further the max output level. This should be easy, noting that each LED represents an increase in 1 volt from the previous one, and so the output can be easily adjusted from a minimum of 1 volt to a maximum of 10 volts peak-to-peak, very easily, and depending on the specifications of the power amplifier that you will be using. The right side of the picture is for the actual circuitry of the stereo adder. Note the location of the 2 9-pin connectors for the inputs, the 4 output connectors located at the vertices of a square, and below them the 2 connectors that will allow the potentiometers from the other PCB to be inserted in the feedback loop of the 2 op-amps. Once all the components are mounted, the potentiometers PCB will be attached to the back of the front panel, so that the handles of the potentiometers can be reached from the front. The second PCB will also be mounted on the front panel on top of the first PCB. Here is the assembled potentiometer PCB, a very simple board which has the primary function to hold in place the potentiometers against the front panel. These 2 cables, with a 2-pin connector at the end, are the ones that will connect the potentiometers to the rest of the circuitry. This one instead is the fully assembled Circuitry PCB. All these PCBs are homemade, using the CNC milling technique to create them. Note the silk layer, which I made by hot transferring the corresponding printout from a laser printer. Note also the cleanliness of the truck's surface, which I tinned using a bath of 421A liquid tin, technically called thiourea. Once we have both PCBs ready, we can put this board directly on the front panel, and this one board can be attached on top of the first one like this. The result will be a solid assembly with the two potentiometer handles coming up from the front panel, where we can control them easily. Right now, however, I will mount them against each other directly, since we don't have yet a case for the mixer. And here is the final result, the board with the two potentiometers on one side, and the board with the rest of the circuitry on the other side, connected to each other through these wires, soldered on the potentiometer board side, and terminating with a connector for the circuitry board. Here is the bed test with all the audio mixer units completed so far. This is the completed other module. Here we have the two VU meters, one for the left and one for the right channel. This board is a simple power supply distribution system. I did not talk about this because it is very simple. It just puts together 7 4-pin connectors all in parallel, so we can split the power coming from the power rails of the synth rack into 6 different connectors that can be used to power all the units of the audio mixer. Right now I will be using a total of 4 connectors, one for the incoming power supply, one for the other circuitry, and one for each of the two VU meters. I also connected the 2 channels of my oscilloscope to the stereo channels of the other. These wires go to the 9-pin connectors on the main PCB, so I can connect the various inputs to my function generator on both channels. Let's start the testing by connecting an input of the left channel to the function generator. I am going to connect ground and either one of the available input wires. The function generator is currently set up to generate 2 different signals on its 2 outputs. The first channel produces a simple sine wave at the frequency of 1 Hz with an amplitude of 10 V peak-to-peak. The second channel also generates a sine wave, but this one has a frequency of 2 Hz. This way, it will be easier to distinguish the 2 signals even when they are mixed together. Right now, the 1 Hz sine wave is applied to an input on the left channel. The outputs of the 2 channels can be traced on the oscilloscope, where I use the yellow trace for the left channel and the blue trace for the right channel. Right now we don't see anything, but as soon as I increase the master volume of the left channel, we start to see the sine wave that keeps increasing until we reach the maximum amplitude. And of course, we can also see the VU meter on the left channel, providing a visualization of the signal. You can see how when lowering the volume, the visual indication lowers its amplitude too, down to 0 volts when the volume is totally down. We can now perform the same procedure for the right channel only. So, changing the input in the right channel and increasing the right channel volume, and we can see its effects on the right VU meter, and also the effects on the oscilloscope. Let's now go back to the left channel and apply to it 2 inputs simultaneously, moving the first input to the left channel, and connecting the second signal to another input of the left channel. Let's now increase the volume while watching the oscilloscope, and we are seeing a composite signal due to the different frequencies involved. You can also see that the channel is in saturation, but I can adjust the master volume to eliminate that. Let's repeat the test for the right channel. Lowering the volumes, moving the generator cables from the left channel to the right channel, and let's now go to the oscilloscope and increase the volume, and we observe the same composite wave on the oscilloscope. And here is the signal visualization through the VU meter. Let's now run a test applying the 2 different signals to the 2 stereo channels. For that, I'm going to leave one cable from the function generator to the right channel and move the other one to the left channel. Let's watch the oscilloscope screen. And right now there is already something on the right channel, and that's because I left the volume up from the previous test. So let's raise the master volume of the left channel too, and there is the other signal. The two signals are of course different because I applied the different ones to different channels. Let's play a little bit with the volumes now. And now let's take a look at the VU meters. And they clearly visualize two different signals. And that's all for today. We now have already two VU meters, one for each channel, an other unit which works in stereo, and a way to distribute the power to each unit of the mixer module. Next time we will start talking about the panning units, which will distribute each input signal to the two stereo channels and can adjust the level of each channel relative to the other one. If you would like to be notified about the next videos, please make sure you have subscribed to the channel, which is totally free, and you have also enabled the notifications for it. Also, if you liked this video, please spend a moment to give it a thumb up, which will increase the visibility of the video to other people which may be also interested in this subject. I will see you in the next video, and as usual, happy experiments!